a little bit, but real nice signal here this morning. So nice signal on, and good morning to you, Steve. Up here in Buffalo, New York. Nice to hear you on this morning. And way down at first snowstorm is settled up there. And yeah, it definitely is the season there, Perry. Yeah, the old cold and sicknesses are definitely making their way in. Wife was a little under the weather for a couple of days, and I felt a hint of it coming on. Thankfully, I kicked it with some stuff we had here, but a lot of the guys are getting sick at work. So definitely that time of the year, unfortunately. And let's see, say good morning to Gary down there. I don't hear Gary up here at all. But good morning to Gary down there at Figures, and boy, big group in here this morning, and starting to grow here. So I'll keep it moving along. Oh, Jerry, I was going to comment too. I sent you a message, but you've been consistent 20 over in here, and everybody else really hasn't changed too much. You're coming good down here. Buffalo, Steve, there you're coming in good down here. You're probably running about 10 to 15 over 9. So some good signals here this morning. I'll send it on over to my notes out here. Let's see, it goes over to you, Kevin. That's correct there. KK4GZQ here in the earth this morning, and KA2ZNI.
Okay, Kev. KA2ZNI with the group, with W2BNY joining in here late, and also WD4NKA. Morning again to you, Steve and Gary. Good signals up here. Gary, you're making it up here on 25 watts. I heard just about everything you thought this morning. You guys are having good weather. Good morning to Perry. I forgot to mention Perry, W3MMR. Morning, buddy. Hope you're good up there in around Philly. And I heard Steve mention something about maybe bad weather coming into the Buffalo line. I'm wondering if maybe you're going to be affected by that as well. Anyway, I'm just kind of listening along and enjoying listening to what you guys are saying. So over here on the Ranger this morning, let me get a little bit better on frequency here. I'm on the Ranger this morning with D104 and IO 1200 complement at about 300 watts. Anyway, Steve, let me hand it up your way. Everybody's sounding good, and the band conditions are pretty quiet. W2BNY with the group. Here's KK4GZQ. How copy?
KK4GZQ in the group. W2BNY. Copying very good. I was over looking at one of the propagation websites, and the KP index right now is down about 0, and it looks like it's been at about 0 for the last 12, maybe 18 hours, and so that's pretty good news. Geonug low bands, so that probably explains some of the good copy here this morning. We're getting to that time of day where it tends to drop off here, so have to keep watch on that. We're on the Perry, W3MMR. Perry, I hope you're not both coming down with the flu, especially you, Steve, Sugar Fox, with the duties that you have to perform this weekend with the wedding of your son, and congratulations on that. Hope things go well. I always enjoyed going to weddings because it's one of those events, everybody comes to the wedding, expecting to have a good time. So, you know, there's a lot of positive vibes, and those events are usually great fun. So congratulations on that. And let's see here. By the way, W9TJ, you're 40 over into Buffalo here this morning. So you say you normally don't get good propagation with that antenna, but you're doing a gangbuster job here this morning. I think I'm passing it to Gary, but I don't think Gary can copy me. So, Kevin, you may have to relay. W3PP in the group. This is W2BNY.
Okay, and Steve, I know there's some other breaking stations out there. I think so anyway. I think when I turned it to you, I heard maybe some breakers in there, but let me pass it down to Gary for you, and if there's any other breakers out there, please come. WD4NKA with the group. Here's KK4GZQ from W2BNY. Gary, over.
Alpha Juliet 1 Golf.
WD4NKA, one more time. Chris, I got you. AJ1G. Gary, are you still there? Over. Okay. And there was another breaking station with AJ1G. Would you come again, please? Over. Okay, there's Rick. VE3PP. So, with that, let's pick up Chris. AJ1G. Good morning, Rick. VE3PP over in Ontario. And Rick, if you would pass it over to Northern Indiana to W9TJW, Whiskey 9 Tango Juliet Whiskey. So up to you, Chris, AJ1G, to send it to VE3PP and then over to W9TJW. Good morning. Up there, Chris, over.
Yeah, very good. KK4GZQ and the group here, AJ1G, Chris in Stonington, Connecticut. Yeah, real good signal here this morning, Kevin. You know, just about 100 watts here. Yep. 100 watts on the Central Electronics 20A and 600L. A lot of static. I worked on a couple of, one European station this morning down the window, OT4 India, and was thinking about going down to the point to maybe catch some Australians. I might try working them from here. They'll be coming in right around sunrise. There's usually a couple of them. Tried yesterday, a lot of static on their end. It didn't quite make it through, but it was fun just to get down there. First time I tried to do that with the mobile installation in the Volvo XC60, which seems to be working pretty good otherwise. So I won't move over too much over to VE3PP. I don't know you, but anyhow, this is Chris in Stonington, Connecticut, southeastern corner of the state of Connecticut. We're in the 30s, I think, and got some snow flurries going on. Got about 6 inches the other day. That's all pretty much melting off. VE3PP and the morning AM gang, AJ1G, Chris in Stonington, Connecticut.
Yeah, okay. Good morning, Chris. Nice to meet you for the first time. Good morning, Terry. And Kevin down there. Those are the guys I know. And hopefully keep those territories away from my area. I don't want them. I know Kevin doesn't want them. Terry, sorry to hear you're not feeling that good. Should have got your flu shot, buddy. I just got mine yesterday. No, Tuesday, I guess. Got mine on Wednesday, I guess. I went down to the local drugstore there and got my flu shot. They do them for free, so I went down and got it. Up in New England up here, 28 degrees outside my traffic store here. And we had a little light dusting of snow up. So a little bit of the stuff that we had on the we got a little more overnight. I don't know what's in the forecast here. I didn't even bother looking because I don't care. I can't do anything about it, and I don't have to go anywhere. And I'm running my old C lines here this morning, boys. So I don't have the big power that some of you guys have, but at least I can get on here on AM. I'll make it a one and done. I just wanted to get in and say good morning to Terry and Kevin. Have a good day there. Kevin, by your Facebook post, you're pretty well wrapped up doing any power wash. It's a great day. I think you should buy that snowblower that you posted before. If you get snow down that way, you could be out making money cleaning driveways off with that blower. But maybe you don't bother getting enough. Maybe it's not enough snow down here where you don't bother with it. Years, I hardly ever using it. And I see your point about gravel laneway. The only way you're going to do that thing on a gravel laneway is you're going to put the little skid bars on it, raise it up so the blower doesn't get down on the gravel. That's what my dad had to do on his gravel laneway when he lived in the city. You got to just raise those little skid plates up so you got about an inch clearance, and then you can, if you get a foot of snow, you can blow 11 inches of it off your driveway, and the other inch stays on there and gets packed down. You get a little base of snow there, and you're all right that way. You won't be blowing gravel all over the yard. I don't have that problem. I got paved, but I don't drop my right down. It doesn't switch. It just goes over top a little bit there. Anyway, 73 to all. Everybody have a good day and whatever you're doing, and try to stay out of trouble. W9TJW, over to you if you can copy. VE3PP.
Very good, Rick. Dick, are you still there? VE3PP sends it over to you, Dick, W9TJW. The group KK4GZQ here on a little assist there, Dick, over.
Okay, real fine. Appreciate that. He turned it over and he faded out on me. Otherwise, I had a good copy on him. I didn't hear him turn it over to me. All right. Well, he sounds pretty good down here. He can keep the snow. Well, we don't need it here. We've got bare ground to look at, and that just tickles me to death. I can tolerate snow. It's when we get that freezing rain that I don't like. But usually they get that freezing rain a little bit down south. So anyway, I think I'm going to pass along 7.3s here, fellas. My stomach is telling me I need to get some breakfast in it. So I'm going to get in here and fix me something to eat real quick. And it's been nice talking to all you fellas. I got a pretty good copy on almost everybody. So the band's been kind of goofy here the last week or so. I've noticed that. So anyway, I guess I'm going to have to kick her back up to Jerry there, and he can take it to whoever has it next. All right. So 7.3s, guys. This will be the last one, and I'll catch you guys a little later down the line. I sure enjoyed it. K9GAS, W9TJW. All right, go ahead, Jerry. Maybe he went for breakfast.
I'm not sure where Jerry went to. Gas man, you still there?
K4GZQ, KK4GZNY.
Okay, Gary, you heard you just fine. Okay, stand by, Charlie. Gary, good signal.
nothing much more to add. Relatively bad. And Terry dragged his feet for chance gas or crack in there. If not, grab it and heaven again. Oh, did you get the score? Gosh, darn it. Chris, did we pick you up? No, we didn't. Chris wants you, girl. And then, Mr. Terry and apparently we have an AJ1G, K0SF.
Also, Charlie is there, K4GZQ. Sorry, and there's somebody else. I've tried to leave the room 3 times now. I've got to jump out of here for a minute, guys. I'll listen to you from the kitchen. K4FNY to pick it up. And Perry, where does it go from Charlie? That's right.
Okay. I think I've got KK4GZQ in the group. K4SNY. I've been trying to read the mail here for the past half hour, and I'm thoroughly confused. So, I'm almost unconcerned, but anyway, I'm talking to everybody in here this morning with varying degrees of difficulty. A lot of man this morning. Brother BC6CNI. There you go, set the modulator bias on it. We also running about 300 watts. And the place for it was down low like it should be, down 200 mils. Anyhow, I'm in here going back up the square and guys, it's 44 degrees here, it's kind of warm. Warmed up a little bit. So, Kevin, let's see if you can hear me. KA2ZNI, the group. Why?
You still in there, Kev? KA2ZNI, W3MMR. Alright, well, I think you got out of there. Alright, Gary, you pick it up. WD4NKA, and then turn it up to me, W3MMR. WD4NKA, W3MMR. Real good, Gary. I can hear you pretty well up here this morning, and I'm not using a web SDR. My noise level is fairly low, except for all the static crashes. Static crashes are taking you out every once in a while, but I know some QSB on your signal. But nevertheless, I got most of it, and you'll hear it on if you check out the recording later on today on YouTube there. So you're making a good trip, Gary. Good morning to you. Real good on the end-fed wire, and thanks for the kind words. And the antenna seems to be working out just fine for you this morning. Good morning to you, Chris, my neighbor up to the north. I can hear you this morning, Chris. And you're really strong. You're about 25 over S9 here this morning. I didn't catch what rig you were on, but whatever rig you're on is sounding good here this morning. Nice and clean. Real dynamic audio. Sounds really good, buddy. So good morning to you. Hopefully you catch some DX here today. So I know you're always out there chasing it. I know you said you're going to try to catch the VKs maybe from the mobile, but most likely at the house this morning. So good luck with that. Good morning to you, Steve, W2BNY. Sounding good down here from Buffalo. I guess Kevin was saying that you guys are expecting some foul weather up that way. Some snow. No snow here in the foreseeable future. They're calling for rain next Monday into Wednesday morning, so next week. So we're supposed to get a fair amount of rain. And I still got the forecast up here. It's going to be in the 40s and the 50s. Tuesday's going to be the mid-50s, so it's going to be kind of mild. It's going to be one of them storms with the wind coming out of the south, 35 miles an hour, it's saying. 35 mile an hour gusts out of the south, so it's going to be bringing up that warm air from Dixieland. And then a cold front's going to be coming through Wednesday night, it looks like, and back down into the 30s. It looks like the high on Thursday will be 30 degrees. And a low of 20 degrees on Thursday next week. So, but it's still far ways out. You never know what can happen between now and then. 36 degrees here in southeastern Pennsylvania this morning. A little wet outside. I went outside to do my morning run down to the other shop this morning, and everything was frozen on the truck. Couldn't even roll the windows down this morning, and had to scrape the windshield there and let her warm up for a little bit. So keep it moving along here. I'll stick in here for one more. It goes over, I think Kevin said he's had to leave for a minute, so I would turn it to him since ZNI is not in there. So it goes over to you, Steve, W2BNY, then to Chris, AJ1G, Dick signed, and Rick signed. So Chris, you're going to turn it back up to the top to Steve, K0SF. And Steve, drag your feet in case Jerry comes back from his trip with the aliens. Or wakes up in the chair. One of the two, whatever happened. So over to you, Steve, W2BNY on the world's greatest sounding DX100, W3MMR.
Okay, Perry, thank you very much. W3MMR, W2BNY in the group here. And Perry, you're doing a superb job keeping the list in order here this morning, particularly since the way you feel with the scratchy throat and maybe oncoming symptoms of something else. But somehow you got the head cleared up, and boy, things are really rolling along here. Rotation, so I'm going to make this my last transmission. And we're getting up to the hour where things are starting to fade a little bit, a lot of signals. So I'm going to make this my last broadcast on 3885 here this morning, and look for you guys tomorrow. And I think it goes to Sugar Fox, although I'm not sure. So maybe somebody can straighten me out. 7-3s to everybody, and hopefully we'll hear you all again tomorrow morning. So with that, K0 Sugar Fox coming your way. This is W2BNY saying 7-3.
Goes to you, Chris, AJ1G, then to Steve.
Okay, very good, Perry. Boy, I got back down here. Oh, yep, we got a smartphone here. We got an Amber Alert going on for a missing 1-year-old up in Ansonia, Connecticut, and every time my phone turns on, that Amber Alert goes off there. I don't know if you heard that across the room, but yeah, it's kind of I just sort of heard about it on the news. Apparently, they found the mother passed away in the apartment because she hadn't shown up for work on a welfare check. They checked the place and they found her, but no sign of the infant. And so I don't know what's going on with that. But boy, it's getting a lot of Amber Alerts going on here in Connecticut today and yesterday. Actually, this has been going on 3 days, I think. Well, what else here? Yeah, boy, Perry, I don't know what radio you're on. I thought someone said you're on the DX100. That's the case, man. That's the best sounding DX100 I ever heard. I'm on the Central Electronics 20A and 600 and on the Audio Technica Alpha 500 or 500 Alpha through the Interactive EQ and then a flat Behringer mixer and then into the radio. You guys surprised me when you said that you like the way that the straight through D104 on a 20A sounds. I'm going to have to listen to that and make some recordings off QIX or something, because I think it sounds really tinny. It's really thin. But it is very bright. It's got a lot of punch to it, I'll say that. But I think this has got a warmer sound, and it's got a little more in the bottom end. You know, like in days like this, it really sounds great. You've got the low end on yours is very, very nice, especially on the LDH Scott SLRM. That adds a kind of a really mellow response of its own into the low end, and everyone sounds great on it. It sounds like jukebox bass or something like that when I hose it through the audio system. Yeah, I had that thing 55 years now. My granddad gave it to me back in 1964 on Thanksgiving Day. So Rick up there in Ontario, VE3PP, you're talking about setting the snow blower up so you don't throw all your gravel driveway on the lawn. That's exactly what has happened to us over the years. We've got an Aaron's 24, and I used to have to set it up high, but after spending a lot of springs raking gravel out of the lawn, that's really not good for the rotor blades either. We end up putting pavers on the first half of the driveway, and that is so much simpler. It makes it so much easier. And it also, melts quicker too once you get that nice flat surface exposed. I know your pain, and boy, my wife goes nuts. Every time she hears that thing, chucking rocks, I get a call on my iPhone. And I got my, what are you doing out there? Anyhow, let's see. I guess it goes over to you, Rick, and very nice signal once again on the CE. Central Electronics 20A, 600L, about 100 watts of carrier, the inverted B, receiving on a RTL SDR on an IC or a iMac. VE3PP in the group AJ1G.
I know the guy, Tom, I think it was, you were calling a full belly. Well, I don't know. We'll turn it back over to you, Perry, if you're still there, and you're talking, and you can go into wherever it goes. 73, gentlemen. Again, everybody have a good day. I'm going to slide down to 96.95 here shortly, and the boys across the way are waking up on AM down there. VE3PP, W3.
And Jerry, Rick sent it down to you, over. Okay, nothing from the gas man. I know KA2ZNI hadn't had it in a while, K0 Sugar Fox. And then we need to get Charlie back, K4GZQ. KA2ZNI, you still there, Kev? If not, we're going to send it to Steve there, over.
KK4GZQ.
Jay, you're right on time. Why don't you pick it up and send it up to K0 Sugar Fox? I know that Steve is there, Jay. Good morning. KK5IM, Crawford, Texas. KK4GZQ, the group. What's left of it?
Okay, Kevin. KK4GZQ, KK5IM. I'm not hearing stations up. You're blasting me. I'm on a stronger signal. Over to you. And someone says try and send have Charlie please. K0 Sugar Fox.
Okay, Jay. Hearing you pretty well this morning. You got a little bit of heat coming through. This train a little bit of static, but alright, well, I was Googling over your QRZ site the other morning, Jay. I've looked at it before, but I took another look, and yeah, that would be really nice to have that expansive track like you have. I'm kind of tucked into a bedroom here in the basement, and it's okay. It's just, it's probably filled to maximum capacity is the problem. And I'm at that juncture. Well, I'm going to make some riser shelves to go over my 2 oak clubs. And then I can probably get transmitters in here I want. But, yeah, we're going to have to hold on transmitters, I think. So, yeah, limited room. My wife is not a veteran. She's probably right. So, it's always fun to go look at your setup there with the consoles in the large room. And I also looked at Gary D4MKA's old helicopters, and that looks pretty cool. Pretty nice. I think, Kevin, you're instructing to give it to Charlie, so we'll send it down his way. K4FNY, K0SF.
Okay, K0SF. I'm going to group K4FNY. Let me see if I have it. Well, it sounds like I do. Good morning, Jay. Out there in Crawford, Texas. Good signal this morning, Jay. And I was supposed to turn it to Gary. I was going to do back on Gary. Gary, your 30 watts is doing a pretty good job here. And I have a similar antenna. Mine is roughly an inverted L, but it's in fed. And it seems to work pretty good on all bands. I can tune it. from 160 through 6 meters. So, it's one of those, the only thing that was slight bit unusual about it is that it's over 6 wires. It's large wire. But it was a freebie, so, can't complain. We've got it permanent outside the plant here, so I guess a pretty stiff line. And I've got the radio for each band, each band, so that seems to have helped some too. So, I hope I don't mess it up this morning. I've got talk about scratch pad. I've got all the way written down and scratched out. Anyway, let me see if I can raise Gary. WD4NKA in the group, K4GZQ.
You still in there, Gary? WD4NKA, W3MMR. Nah, nothing heard here, so I'll pick it up. This is going to be my last. So if somebody wants to write down the order here, I'll give you a second to grab a pen, and you guys can write down the order here. I got me at the top, okay, then Steve BNY, he signed. So it goes me to Chris, AJ1G, okay. Then it goes to Jay, KK4GZQ. Good morning to you, Jay. Sounding good up here in southeastern Pennsylvania this morning. And then it goes over to Steve, K0SF, okay. Then it goes to, it was going to Kevin. So Steve, try turning it to Kevin, KK4GZQ, to see if he comes back next time you make one. And if not, Charlie, you pick it up after Steve or Kevin, K4FNY. So that's the rotation I got here. Trying to rethrow my chicken scratch. Anyway, no, Chris, I'm on the Anon this morning. I was complimenting Steve, W2BNY's DX100 earlier. Maybe that's what you caught. But no, not on the DX100 this morning. Doesn't quite have the amount of lows that this thing does. But still sounds good in its own right. And now, hearing you more, I can tell that you're not on what you're running back with the processing in the D104. It doesn't sound as clean, in my opinion. And the lows that I'm hearing, they sound like they're being forced in there. And it's a little more distorted than with the D104 just hooked right up to it. But if that's what you like, Chris, run it, man. It doesn't sound bad by any stretch of the imagination. It just doesn't sound as clean, especially when you're taking fades, the distortion gets pretty heavy there. But it's your rig, man. Run it how you want to run it. I still think it sounds fine. So no problem at all, Chris. That's for sure. I'm definitely not complaining. Just letting you know what I'm hearing. And I think that's it. And Charlie, good morning. The BC610 sounds great. Big signal, 15 to 20 over here up in southeastern Pennsylvania this morning. All right, guys, I'm going to say 7-3. Go take some Dayquil and make a cup of tea before I got to start getting ready for work. And we'll catch you guys on here tomorrow morning, hopefully. So over to you, Chris. AJ1G. In the fine group, 7-3 from W3MMR.
Okay, Perry, W3MMR, AJ1G. Okay, I'm on the D104 through the Behringer EQ here now, and it sounds very similar to the
in the D104 directly into the 20A, but I'll have to make some more comparison checks, unless I'm getting some RF in the audio here that's messing things up, but I don't think that's the case. Well, that was a fast round. I went upstairs to make some coffee, and I got the water going, and that was it. And then I heard you saying, hey, it's back to you, Chris. So I think it still goes to VE3PP, and I hope that's I didn't write the rotation down, because I'm going to be actually signing out on this one. And I sign out on this one and go down to the DX window, see if anything's cooking down there. And apparently the Anon sounds great. I didn't think it was the DX100. It sounded like the Anon, but someone said it was. They thought it was the DX100. Anyhow, 73 all. Have a great day. I'm gonna go play in the DX window and get some coffee and get the day going here. I got a bunch of stuff to do. And one of the things I have to do is put together a fishing tackle, rod and reel and fishing tackle gift for my son Ben's Lions Club giving tree. I got tagged with that, and I got a rod and reel picked out of the inventory here, and going to get a brand new tackle box and fill it up with all sorts of brand new lures and hooks and lines and sinkers and things like that, and make some kid pretty happy here Christmas morning. Let's see, over to VE3PP and the morning AM gang. AJ1G, Chris in Stonington, Connecticut.
Nothing heard here, and I'm making a recording, Chris, so it'll be up on YouTube in a few hours. Pick it up, Jay, KK4GZQ, and I'm signing. 7-3, guys, W3MMR.
Okay, Terry, W3MMR. KK4GZQ. Very winter.